It is now the hour of 9:57, and we will call the Cumberland County Salary Board and Board of Commissioners meeting to order. And we'll begin with the Salary Board and a roll call, please, Desiree.
Commissioner Nieder.
I am here.
Commissioner Fashi.
I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I'm here. Okay.
Commissioner Eichelberger.
Present.
Controller Whitcomb.
Here.
The next up on the agenda is the item for public comment. There does not appear to be anyone in the room for public comment at this time. Is there anyone online wishing to make public comment?
No request at this time.
Okay. Go on into the approval of the minutes of the June 5th meeting.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes of June the 5th.
I'll second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next up is the approval of the salary board actions.
I'll make a motion to approve the salary board actions as presented.
I'll second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Is there any other business to come before the salary board at this time? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned, and we will go into the Board of Commissioners and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we will begin with the roll call, please.
Commissioner Nieder.
I am here.
Commissioner Fashi.
I'm here.
Commissioner Eichelberger.
Present.
Now we open this meeting up for public comment on any non-agenda items. If there's anyone wishing to make a comment, please use the raise your hand if you are on feature, if you are online. Seeing any, Desiree?
No request at this time.
All right, very good. We will move into the consent agenda.
Thank you, Commissioner. The consent agenda is a list of routine items that do not appear to be controversial in nature or require any additional discussion. If discussion is desired on any agenda item numbers 4 through 11, now would be the time to make that request. Hearing none and seeing none, Commissioners, I would request approval of the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
I'll second. It's moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
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 Okay, that takes us then to the regular agenda, which is a list of non-routine items that will be discussed and may be acted upon individually. And we'll start with agenda item 12, which is discussion and approval of a letter of support for CERTA. And I'll call in Kirk Stoner to provide some information on that request.
Good morning, board. I'm pinch hitting for Rich Farr this morning. SRTA is requesting our support for an $80 million request to the US DOT's bus and bus facilities and the low or no emission grant program. The funding will be used to buy new buses and bus facilities for our new facility on Cameron Street that's will be under construction in the near future. And also to equip that facility with CNG or compressed natural gas facilities so that we can convert our Cumberland and Dolphin fixed route bus system to compressed natural gas. I think the important part of this request is that for every federal dollar we bring into the project, it decreases the amount of state funding. And for state funding, there's a required local match that comes from the participating counties. So it's in our best interest to support the request, bring as much federal funding to the project, which is extremely important not only for us for the region, but also decreases then the local match that we would have to pay from our funds.
Any questions for Kirk?
I don't have any. We'll entertain a motion.
I will move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
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 Thank you, Commissioners. That takes us to, thank you, Kirk. That takes us then to agenda item 13, which is discussion of bid results for the purchase of firearms and a motion to award the contract. And I'll let Greg Igler take it from there.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The Sheriff's Office and DRO went out for bid for new firearms. The county received one bid back from Whitner Public Safety Group in the amount of $47,298.86. I'd like to make a motion to award the contract to Whitmer Public Safety, that amount.
Someone like to make that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Okay, thank you, commissioners. That takes us then to the contract and grants portion of the agenda, and I'll turn the meeting over to Angela Smyser.
Thank you, Stacy. All right, moving on to agenda item 14, I will call on Kim Winton to discuss the contracts for aging and community services. Good morning, Kim.
Good morning. Good morning, commissioners. The first one, ASL Services, is to provide American Sign Language interpreter services to all of our aging clients across all of our programs. Central Pennsylvania Food Bank, the addendum is for our state food purchase program. We received an additional allocation from the state, so we distributed across the food pantries for them to provide or purchase additional food from Central Pennsylvania Food Bank. The Comprehensive Care Connections is an addendum. And what that's going to consist of is we are going to provide evidence-based programming, and we will get paid $100 for each instance where a participant completes an evidence-based program. And that consists of Healthy Steps for older adults, Healthy Steps in Motion, chronic disease self-management, diabetes self-management, Walk with Ease, Tai Chi for arthritis, and falls prevention. And then the information technologies, that's our software for the touchscreen system. It's our annual subscription. It includes the software support, technical support, and upgrades. And it's for our check-in at the senior centers and agency and administration. And it's for the co-pilot community for our 6 senior centers. Any questions?
No, and I'll move to approve.
I will second. So it's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
All right, thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
That takes us to agenda item 15, and I'll call on Jamie Ryber to discuss the contracts for children and youth. Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning. I have 7 contracts today. 6 of them are 25-26 contracts, and one of them is an addendum to our 24-25 contract. The first one is for Alternative Behavioral Consultants, also known as ABC. They provide in-home services, parenting assessments, parenting skills, reunification services, and visitation services. They are heavily used by the agency. They are requesting increases ranging from 1.19% to 9.09%, and also have added a new program for parents offering school attendance support for the 25-26 year. The next one is for Drug and Alcohol Rehabilitation Services. They are an out-of-home placement offering IL services and drug and alcohol services. Their DNA services do flip to Medicaid for funding at some point during the youth stay. Their increases are 8.85% and 8.96%, and their program rates are actually relatively low for the services they're providing. The next one is for George Junior Republic in Pennsylvania. They're also an out-of-home placement offering several levels of residential services, including drug and alcohol, intensive services, diagnostic, and secured programs. They are requesting a 5% increase to their rates across the board. The next one is for Hoffman Homes. They are also an out-of-home placement for shelter services and transitional living for our older youth. And they are requesting an increase to their shelter program this year of 5.88%. They have not requested an increase to that program for a couple of years. The next one is Pathways Adolescent Center. That's an addendum for 24-25. We are adding an emergency shelter program to their contract. They opened their shelter on April 1st of this year. They're requesting a rate of $615 per day for the shelter, which is actually lower than their state maximum approved amount. We are pursuing them, even though they are in Venango County and probably won't be heavily used, but shelter beds are few and far between. So, and JPO is actually able to utilize them. So we do want to make sure we get a contract in place. The next one is for Preventative Aftercare. They are an in-home service offering intensive services to families working towards returning a child to their home or maintaining them in their home. And they also have a prison visitation program. They also are requesting a 5% increase to both of their programs for 25-26. The last one is for the YWCA of Carlisle. This is for their rape crisis services that we refer families to for support. They did request an increase to their per diem of 5.1%, going from $29.78 an hour to $31.30 an hour. But we do have an overall max of $7,000 annually that we provide to them, and that did not increase. And they are increasing their rate based on the fact that the Pennsylvania Coalition Against Rape did increase that rate, and they oversee their program. Any questions?
I do not have any.
Nope, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay,
I will second.
okay. It's moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
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 Thank you, Jamie.
you.
That takes us to agenda item 16, and I will call on Stacy Snyder to discuss a memorandum of understanding for the Commissioner's Office.
Hi, thanks, Angela. So the MOU is between the county and the Cumberland County Library System. It establishes responsibilities for each, and it sets a collaborative path forward. It does replace the 2015 MOU as well as all conditional grant MOUs, which were initiated in 2016 with the last full amendment in 2023. I would note that the library board has reviewed and has approved the memo. Let me start over. The MOU. Any questions?
I don't have any. Thank you. Thank you for your work on this. And Carolyn, you're present as well. Thank you for collaborating to get this in a much better form for everyone involved.
We're very pleased with it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
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 All right, thank you, Stacy. That takes us to agenda item 17, and I'll call on Robert Varner to discuss a contract for ERP. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, Commissioners. We are seeking approval for a 3-year contract with DocuSign for digital signatures. The total contract cost is $10,108.80. DocuSign is partnered with Infor for the digital signing of documents within Infor Cloud Suite, and we are looking to utilize that within the contract management module.
Any questions for Robert?
Robert, just what will that be used in any other capacity outside of just the you said contract or purchasing? I apologize.
It could be used outside of contracts. We haven't looked. We've talked. It's been talked about with HR for onboarding, but we haven't gotten that far yet.
Okay, so if you don't mind, I'd just like to interject and note that Mark is aware. Currently, we use Adobe Sign, and that is something that we're looking at of looking to transition. So Mark is working on that.
So this is a very limited license purchase then for DocuSign. Okay. Okay, that was the questions I had. Thank you.
I will
Entertain
move
a
to
motion.
approve.
Thank you.
I'll second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank
All
you.
right, that takes us to agenda item 18, and I will call on Holly Sherman to discuss the contracts for human resources. Good morning, Holly.
Good morning. The first contract we have is for Inservco Insurance Services. They are our third-party administrator for our workers' compensation processing. They provide administrative services as far as processing claims with the state, rebilling benefits, submitting state-required documents, paying the providers and employees if warranted. Inservco is requesting a 7% increase over the life of a 5-year contract, which is an increase from the prior contract, which was 6% over 3 years. The second contract is with Travelers, and that is, Travelers Insurance. That's for the county's property and liability insurance for the renewal that's effective July 1st. The total annual premium is increasing 20% for a total annual premium of $981,360. Any questions on either of those?
I don't have any questions, Holly, but I do want to thank you and your department for all of the thorough work that went into doing this. I know that this is a significant increase in insurance, but I also know that your department worked very hard to get this together. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll echo that. I'm not happy about this, but It's unfortunately, I believe, the way of the world in insurance right now. However, I think it will be appropriate for us to, you know, perhaps speak with some other vendors for next year's renewals.
As a note, we do have a meeting scheduled to talk about some more proactive measures that is occurring after the July 1 renewal to put some things in place for the next year.
That's good. Thank you.
Thanks, Holly.
And with that,
Entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Holly. Right, that takes us to agenda item 19, and I will call on Miranda Melton to discuss the contracts for MHIDD. And please note that these do continue onto the next page of the agenda as well. Good morning, Miranda.
Good morning. I have quite a few contracts to present this morning. Trying to get my video going, maybe. And I have 3 amendments to start with. Then I will go into all of the new contracts for the next fiscal year. Our 3 amendments this morning are all for early intervention services. These are state-funded contracts, and they are for our current fiscal year, 24-25. All of these amendments are required due to the need to provide additional services. The first one is for Barbara Weber. This is an increase of $1,246, bringing her total contract to $13,500. Next is for Christy Musselman. This is an increase of $2,000, bringing her contract to $16,500. And the last amendment is for Leah Blake. Her increase in that contract is for $14,658, bringing her total contract to $83,484. Following on are all of the new contracts for our 2025-2026 fiscal year. Again, these are all providers of early intervention services. All of these next list of providers are for contract increases based on the levels of services that they are providing in our current fiscal year. So these providers include Barbara Weber, Building Blocks Therapy, Christy Musselman, Feeding Little Bellies, Jenna Vandervelden, Jennifer Snyder, Leah Blake, Living Unlimited, Madico Pediatric Therapies, Nicole Custer, Potentiality Therapy Services, Rhythm and Bloom Therapy, Chauvelin Therapy Services, United Cerebral Palsy of Central PA, and UPMC Pinnacle or Pinnacle Health Infant Development Program. So those are all increasing from the current year contract, again, just due to based on the levels of services that we're currently providing. All of these services include things like occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, special instruction, social work, and diagnostic evaluations. Following down your list are, again, more contracts for early intervention services for the next fiscal year, 25-26. All of the following providers, their contracts will be decreasing for the next fiscal year. And again, that's just based on the levels of services that are being provided in the current fiscal year. Just note that these contracts may need to change in the future should we find that we need to provide additional services. So these providers include Aspirations, Baby and Me, Central PA Therapy Connections, ClearPath Pediatric Therapy, Communication Beginnings, Connections Early Intervention and Supports, Early Bird Therapy, Early Intervention Specialists, Grow and Tell Seedlings, Invo Healthcare Associates, Jamie Matthews, Jill Bricker, Joanne Peters, Leanne Broadbent, Pediatric Therapy Specialists of South Central Pennsylvania, Sovia Therapy, TheraPlay, doing business as Ivy Rehab for Kids, and Tummy Time Academy. And those were all of the decreases for the next fiscal year. Are there any questions I can answer for you?
Now, Miranda, I know this is quite a long list and you provided us all the data as it relates to the exact contract totals and the increases and decreases. So I'll just turn for guidance on how we want to do, just approve them all in block. Okay.
So I will
Chief?
move to approve.
Yeah, I'll second.
And it's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, Miranda.
Thank you so much.
That takes us to agenda item 20, and I will call on Elizabeth Grant to discuss a contract addendum for planning. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning, commissioners. Good morning, everyone. What we have before you is a contract addendum with the Western PA Conservancy, and this is for the Middle Spring Creek stream restoration at Branch Creek Children's Park project. The increase is $5,500 to construction costs to accommodate a contractor quote, which exceeded the cost estimate. The new total for the project will be $47,500, and the increase will be funded by the DEP Clean Water Countywide Action Plan 2025 funding.
Any questions for Elizabeth?
No, just Elizabeth, so this is in the, you're kind of in the middle of a contract, or is this project just started? You're hoping to have completion shortly, or?
Yes, this project is anticipated for completion within the next few months. It was during the process of identifying a contractor to complete the work that the increased need was identified. So yes, this project will be completed very shortly.
Thank you.
And I will move to approve.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you, Elizabeth. All right, and with that, I will turn it back over to Stacy.
Thank you, Angela. That takes us to agenda item 21, which is Commissioners' Liaison Reports, and Commissioner Eager, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I know we're kind of pressed for time with the change of the meeting. So I will, anything that my colleagues may want to have me update them directly on the Ag Board meeting or the Planning Commission, I'm happy to do so. Additionally, I attended the CADIC annual tourism event and attended a tourism meeting. They are reviewing all of the grant programs under CADIC's tourism program, which is good and needed. I participated, as did Commissioner Vashi, at Shippensburg Produce Outreach Food Distribution. I attended the Tender Years grand opening in Carlisle, and a United Cerebral Palsy sports auction on City Island over the weekend, as well as I know Commissioner Vashi and I were both at the Enola Miller open house, as well as the 250th U.S. Army birthday celebration. And last evening it was the last evening was the ballpark, but the prior night was United Way Alexis de Tocqueville Humanitarian Award, which went to Dottie Warner, well deserved, and the domestic violence. Commissioner Vashi and I attended the Domestic Violence Services annual meeting. So that's quick.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Commissioner Vashi.
So in the interest of time and moving on to all the other things that we have to do today, I will remind everyone to use the Cumberland County Library System. Boy, it's summertime. It's a great time to get a good read and dig into it, or maybe 10 reads. Tuesday evening, I went to the Mechanicsburg Borough Council meeting where Chief Myers, they celebrated her retirement. She has 40 years of public service in law enforcement. So that was really great, but I'm going to end and I can add on the next time, or if a commissioner has a question about my liaisons, let me know. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Eichelberger.
Okay, real brief, of course, we all attended the meeting yesterday with the Connections folks to get an update on the mental health crisis situation that continues, of course, to be a work in progress. And there is an MHIDD advisory council meeting this afternoon, which I am planning to attend virtually. I have some information pending, I guess, from Justin Miller regarding the yard waste. I have a couple of questions, and he and I are trading phone messages there. I did receive some feedback on our meetings last week. So I'll leave it at that. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. That takes us then to agenda item 22, which is report of executive sessions. And I would like to report that on June 12, 2025 at 9:30 a.m., there was an executive session regarding personnel. And now I'll ask if there is any other business to come before the board today. Hearing none, seeing none, we are adjourned.